right, so after how many weeks has it been? 2, 3? Yeah, 3 weeks, I think.
2? 3?
Yeah.
2. I don't know.
Something like that. We are back with yet another week of entertainment news. This time, there's a lot more video game news than there has been in the past. So, let's get started. Mike, how have you been?
I've been doing good. Just working, just keeping my head up.
That's the best we can do. By the way, this is a good ass fruit cup. You have to excuse me because I'll be chewing while we're discussing this juicy entertainment news. Starting off, we have Konami, who is working on a number of so-called key projects. They were supposed to attend E3 2021, but that's no longer happening. They have pulled out of E3. Their excuse is that, or rather their explanation, if I'm being correct, is due to timing. We will not be ready to present at E3 this year. We want to reassure our fans that we are in deep development on a number of key projects, so please stay tuned for some updates in the coming months. While we are not participating this year, we have great respect for the ESA and know that 2021 will be a great success. We will continue to support the ESA and wish the best to all participants at this year's show. So, Konami has really, they pulled out of major AAA video game development years ago. The last major game that they released that was a success was Metal Gear Solid 5, and Metal Gear Solid 5 was a piece of shit as well. So, yeah, I really don't care too much about this. What do you think, Mike?
I'm actually with you. I'm not too much a fan of their game, so yeah, it's not really a big deal for me.
I was always curious of the Castlevania series.
Got some friends that love those.
Yeah, so I think some of them are pretty good. I think they're like in the form of like Metroid, like a Metroidvania style type of game. But it's like,
Yeah.
why not just play Metroid if that's the case, or play a better Metroidvania style game like Stars Jedi Fallen Order, which is a great example. You know, I don't know. I just don't care too much. I don't even think the fanboys on IGN care too much about this either. Just judging from the list of comments. So, yep, not much news there. Next up, we have a Returnal article. Returnal director says difficulty is an integral part of Housemarque's philosophy. Now, I don't know. There's several different ways to really look at this, because going further into detail, game director for Returnal, Harry Kruger, as well as the marketing and business development director, Mikhail Havery, have both affirmed that Returnal's challenge stems from Housemarque's arcade roots, which has a 90s vibe to it. And the quote that they left is, "We started development 4 years ago, and I don't think the vision has changed that much. Housemarque games are known for their, let's say, challenge. There's usually a difficulty to them," Havery said. Next Machina, for example, you can go through the game on easy, but you'll never get to the last level. And then there's other unlockables and so on. So there's an easy to learn but hard to master mentality at work there. So how do you feel about games that are like this?
I've heard about the difficulty of the game. Is it really that difficult? What people are complaining about?
I think that's part of it. It's a bullet hell game, That's basically the kind of games that they make. I believe this is also the same studio that made what's that? What was that one indie PS4 game that came out when the system launched? Resogun.
Sounds familiar. You Google that real quick for me?
Yeah, actually, I'll do you one better. Let's see here. So yeah, Resogun and Alienation. I played both of those. Actually, yeah, I have both of those games. I haven't played anything else from them though. Returnal is their
The only
first.
one I've heard on that list is Resogun.
Yeah, Alienation was pretty good. That was like a top-down shooter. Resogun was like a side scroller.
Gotcha. With these games, there's like no difficulty settings at all. It's just like one set thing, and it's just on the player to just master it.
Basically, yeah.
Honestly, I do prefer games having difficulty settings, especially now with how I am being more casual there,
Right.
and having to get used to a much more challenging game, or sometimes with a higher difficulty, can be pretty annoying, and it kind of takes out the fun for some players. So it really depends on who you are. Obviously, just from hearing that, games definitely not for me now. It would just do nothing but just keep on frustrating me more and more. Um, I mean, I don't blame the director if that's what they're trying to go for, especially if it's they're trying to take more, I guess, nostalgic route with it. But it's really not for me, and I have to say I'm not really a fan of those type of games. In all honesty, what about you?
I mean, it really depends on the type of game. I don't like commenting on games that I haven't played, so it's not like I really don't have much to say on it. There's another aspect to this game that we're about to talk about that I think is absolute bullshit. But as far as the difficulty goes, I mean, you know, you can beat any game if you put the proper amount of time to it. But something
Right.
like this clearly was not made for an adult audience, and on top of that, it wasn't made for a casual audience, and most adults are, casuals because no one who's of age who has a life and a job, family, whatever, doesn't have time to sit and try and master a ridiculous you know game that has this difficulty level that doesn't accommodate or respect your time. So
Right.
yeah, it seems to fall into that arena. Now again, I haven't played it. The game looks great. I always thought Returnal looked good, but
Yeah, it does for sure.
it being a roguelike, however, is just that's another part to it. Like the whole roguelike thing just it places an emphasis on repetition, and repetition past a certain level is something I absolutely can't stand in really any video game, regardless of the genre. So I can't say whether or not I'd actually enjoy this. I would try it out for sure though, but I don't have a PlayStation 5, so whatever. Um, and like I said, another part of this is the way they handle the saves, and I don't think gamers should support this shit at all.
Yeah.
Because if something like this becomes popular, that's just another reason to for me to say I'm done with video games.
Absolutely. That's because that's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Um, IGN's own Brian Altano, who's been with the company for years, he tweeted, I am very excited for Returnal, but reading that the average run can last 90 plus minutes and there is no way to save midway aside from placing the console itself in rest mode makes me really wish that PlayStation 5 had Xbox's quick resume feature. I mean, it shouldn't have that when it comes to saving any game.
Yeah.
Make sure the fucking player can save their progress. I mean, how hard is that?
Yeah.
And if it goes against the whole philosophy, because I've seen that argument online. If it goes against the philosophy of the game developers, then their philosophy is bullshit. You know, plain and simple.
Yeah, it's honestly fucking stupid.
It is stupid. It takes 2 to 3 hours for the player to save their progress. What? Oh, and there's no feature. There's no plans to include a feature to, you know, like a quick save option. They have no plans for that right now at all.
So they're really sticking to their guns.
Basically, I hope y'all like losing money, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Buyer's definitely gonna be asking for a second one of those.
Yeah, Returnal my ass. About to return this shit back to the store. Now, of course, you have your little
Such a shame too, because it was looking so good.
Yeah,
I actually wanted to play.
It's really sad. And then you have your little fucking fanboys like this asshole right here, trying to defend the stupidity of the game developers.
Right.
This is why we can't have good things, man. Sorry, I'm not a streamer. I don't have 2 to 3 uninterrupted hours to game without saving. So I guess this is a pass for me. It doesn't fit my lifestyle. Just one out of many, man.
Losing so many players just off of this.
Off of something so small.
Yep.
Make sure the fucking player can save their progress. After every level, you should be able to save your fucking progress. Mid-level, if the level is long enough, the game should have an automatic save system, like a modern video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit, man.
Yep.
Oh well. They'll just lose.
I can't believe people are actually defending them in those comments too. Crazy to me.
Fucking gamers will defend anything, no matter how anti-consumer it is. Next up, the PlayStation 5 apparently is outselling the PlayStation 4. Right now, it is at 7.8 million units sold and counting. But you also got to account for the fact that quite a huge chunk of those numbers are bots. Bots that are basically sent out on these websites like Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, whenever there's a restock, and the bots will buy up the consoles, and then the scalpers get the consoles, and then they'll resell them on like eBay and mark up the price hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Past the original MSRP. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I think it's like 1,100 on eBay right now, maybe even higher. Yeah.
The original price is either $400 for the digital edition, or $500 for the console with the disc drive.
So that's a big price difference too. Wow.
Yep. And if you actually look at the PlayStation 5's library, its current library, it's not even remotely worth it. Because you got to think, it only has three games that are really worth playing. Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is also available on PlayStation 4, with not a huge graphical difference between the PS5 version and the the PS4 version. Then you have Demon Souls, which is a remake of a 10-plus-year-old game. Then you also have Returnal that just came out, that has a shit save system, and has a high level of difficulty, so it's really not for a casual audience at all.
Alright.
Outside of that, PlayStation 5 has nothing at the moment, at least until Ratchet and Clank comes out. But after Ratchet and Clank, it'll be another drought.
Yep.
You know, and we don't know if the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, don't know if that game's going to come out this year. It's supposed to come out this year, but there's been way too many delays recently, and delays.
Yeah, I don't see it coming out this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to get delayed. God of War Ragnarok apparently was supposed to come out this year too, but we haven't seen no gameplay for that. So I don't think that's coming out this year either. So yeah, really not much of a reason to buy a PlayStation 5, but good job with the sales, I guess. Basically, the PlayStation 5 is becoming, it's slowly but surely, it's becoming like the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii, the thing about the Nintendo Wii during the seventh generation is that it outsold, it basically destroyed the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 as far as sales, but it failed at software sales. No one really bought games for the Wii, because the only thing people cared about were the motion controls and the free game that came with it, which was Wii Sports.
Right.
As far as software sales go, the Nintendo Wii was a failure. So I think right now the PlayStation 5 is basically falling into that camp, at least until more prominent exclusives released for the platform, which is not really happening anytime soon. So next up, the bosses over at CD Projekt Red, the now infamous CD Projekt Red, they're set to receive large paychecks, large bonuses, despite the disastrous launch of Cyberpunk 2077 and its many woes since. They're going to walk away with $6.3 million each.
Wow. At least one of the worst games ever. And well, not worst game ever, but geez, and they walk away with that. One of the worst releases ever, and they walk away with that.
Still get paid, man. So
it's a shame.
It's not just the CEOs; it's the other board members at CD Projekt Red. The co-CEOs Marcin Iwinski and Adam Kinsinski, they are going to get $6.3 million, according to the company's annual report. And the director of Cyberpunk 2077, as well as CD Projekt Red board member Adam Badowski, is going to get $4.2 million in bonuses, which more than likely comes from the sales of the game itself.
Right.
What else can you really say about how broken the video game industry is?
Yeah.
Besides this right here. This is the
least a broken game, scammed all your customers, walk off the millionaire.
Yep. That's how it works. And believe it or not, we have some faggots in the comments section that are fucking defending this shit. Like it's not even a joke. It's a real thing. This is crazy, man.
It is. Even in that apology video they had, it was crazy to me how many people have already forgiven them.
Like I said, man, gamers just, the intelligence is not there. These companies can do whatever they want, however they want.
By the time the new Witcher game comes out, too, everyone's just gonna forget.
Oh yeah.
They probably the mess out of that game.
Yeah, they'll forget. It's gonna happen. Because you gotta think most gamers, they don't go up on video game websites. They don't go and look up video game news. They don't care about the companies or the people that made the game. All they see is a name and a cover art, and that's it.
Yep.
And even the ones that do follow the news and shit, they'll go up on these websites. They'll defend these companies and the people that made them, regardless of their anti-consumer practices. So the the ball keeps rolling. But it is what it is. Next up, we have a teaser trailer for the upcoming Dexter Season 9, which aims to correct the original finale. which is gone down in television history for being one of the worst finales ever. Man, that final season of Dexter, man, that shit was something else. I think the first 4 episodes were good, and then after that it didn't go downhill. It just plummeted. It just like it went off a cliff and just started falling, and it kept going. It kept going and kept going, and then it hit the ground, and then it sunk into the ground through the earth, entered the realm of hell, and then just kept sinking through all 9 circles. That's how bad the shit was. I remember that year because I think you saw the way it was going and you jumped ship.
Yep.
I stuck it out through to the end, and I wish I hadn't. And I think it was last year I rewatched Dexter season 8 in last year, and it's still just as bad now as it was when it first came out. But this is the teaser or whatever. It's not set in Miami, Florida, like the original series. This is taking place during the winter of in New York.
Yeah, so we're getting a whole new setting.
Yeah, and the major villain is going to be the mayor of the city.
Oh wow, they already said it's going to be the mayor.
Yeah.
Okay, curious to see how that's going to be then.
Now Michael C. Hall is coming back to play Dexter. There's been rumors that Jennifer Carpenter, who played Deborah in the show, is going to return, albeit some people are, if that does happen, some people are basically thinking that she'll come back as like another Harry, just basically another voice inside Dexter's head.
Yeah.
Because they're not what they're doing is they're continuing the story, but they're not changing anything that happened in season 8. So Deborah, who died in the final episode of the series, the character went into a vegetative state and died in the hospital after Dexter pulled the plug. And then Dexter took Deborah's body out to the out towards the ocean or whatever, and he dumped her body in the river. Yeah, so if Deborah comes back, she'll be like a ghost, basically.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so some actor named Clancy Brown will be the villain. I don't know who Clancy Brown is.
Yeah.
So
I'll take a quick let's see what he looks like.
Sure, why not? And I don't think any of the original cast members are going to come back. Oh, and apparently Clancy Brown is the person who voices Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. So,
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to go. I have to see it for myself. But what are your thoughts on Dexter season 9? They're not calling it season 9. They're calling it a revival, but it's basically season 9. So.
Yeah, I'm a little excited to see it. Like I said, it's good to see Michael C. Hall back. I hope they can give the show a proper ending after an awful finale we got to witness. So I'm actually pretty confident that they'll do a good job with this one. I'm just being too optimistic, but I actually feel like this is going to turn out good.
Well, Dexter, what happened with Dexter is that it had they switched showrunners during the original series, and the showrunner they got basically ruined everything. I forget the name of the producer, but it's the same guy who did who was in charge of that Marvel TV show that failed. You know what I'm talking about?
Is it that one you were telling me about with like those teenage kids?
No, it was a different. It was a different one, but I'm trying to remember the name of the shit. The one of the characters is named Black Bolt. The Inhumans. That's what it was.
What's it called again?
Marvel's Inhumans. That show was a huge.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, that show was a fucking huge failure, man.
I didn't see this one.
Yeah, they wanted this to be like a big thing, and critics panned the fuck out of this shit. Yeah, the fucking fans hated it. It's just it was a huge failure. I'm trying to see the showrunner, Scott Buck. That's what this motherfucker's name was. Yeah, Scott Buck fucking his dumb ass. He fucking ruined Dexter. He was the producer for the series from 2007 to 2013. And he produced
Fist. I know that turned out bad too.
Yeah, he produced Iron Fist, which was also panned. This motherfucker just produces shit, dude.
He was part of the Oblongs too. I remember that show.
Yeah, Scott Buck. They need to keep him away from shit because he ruins everything he fucking touches. Yeah, I don't think any of the other actors are coming back. Be lucky if you get Jennifer Carpenter. Now it's been rumored that she was spotted on set or whatever, or spotted somewhere in that area, wearing a striped shirt. So I just have to see, if she'll pop up. So far, we only got a teaser trailer, so we'll see. Next up, we have Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite will support cross-play between Xbox and PC, which is good news.
Yep.
It's just another sign that Microsoft is really trying to make the Xbox, the experience on Xbox and PC seamless. That's what they want. They want an ecosystem. They don't want the platforms to be looked at as different entities. They want it all to be inclusive.
That's good.
And Halo remains their best-selling IP, and it remains their most recognizable IP as well. When you think of Microsoft and you think of Xbox, you think of Halo first and foremost. So, and Phil Spencer, who is the current boss for Xbox, has really been the person who's been trying to right the ship. He's gone as far as to say console tribalism is one of the worst things about the video game industry, and personally, I agree. One of the best things that could happen, and I guess a Twilight Zone or something with the gaming industry is if all the consoles were to basically be killed off, and there'd just be one console, and every company develops games for that one system. That would be great. Like if Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft came together and they just made one ultimate console, everyone will be happy. But you can't have that because it would kill competition, and it will basically be a monopoly, and you don't want that in the gaming industry. So
yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts about Halo Infinite coming to PC and crossplay and all that?
Yep, that's good for sure. More players getting to play together, and I think they have crossplay for the Master Chief Collection, or am I thinking about Halo? Or was it Halo 5 that had that?
And I'm not sure.
Or is it they're just bringing it to PC? I can't remember if it was just crossplay for them.
I honestly couldn't answer that question for you. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember when they were doing Oh no, now I remember. I think it was with Halo 5. They were bringing it to PC, but I think it was they were only bringing like the Forge mode to PC. But yeah, this news is definitely real good. A lot better for Halo Infinite.
Now the thing with Halo Infinite is I'm curious as to whether or not the game is actually going to be of quality, because the last
Yeah, I
Halo
don't know
game
how that.
the last Halo game was a piece of shit. Halo 5 was garbage.
Yeah, it was. Indeed, it was.
And it looks like
Honestly, I don't think it will, but I don't think it would turn out good. But you never know. But yeah, my expectations for it are pretty low.
it seems like they're almost trying to reboot the series, like do a soft reboot of the series, because there
Mm,
hasn't been any mention of Cortana or anything that happened in Halo 5 with anything that they've shown of Halo Infinite so far. And
yeah.
I think that's a big mistake too, is to not try and address the issues of the previous entry,
Mm,
um, and to simply ignore it like it didn't even happen. So I hope they don't do that. But we'll see. Halo Infinite is due out for release later this year, so we'll see what they do with it. Next up, it's been confirmed that Lost Soul Aside, the game that previously was being developed by one person but has since grown, into a full production staff, um, is coming to PS5 and PC. Now, originally
nice.
this game was announced last generation. It's inspired by Final Fantasy 15. That's why the main character kind of looks like Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. And the game's been most compared to gameplay wise from Final Fantasy 15, but also most notably Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
Um,
it definitely looks like it.
Now the combat looks looser and it looks faster than Devil May Cry, which is still a much more structured game if you compare the footage between Lost Soul Inside and the gameplay in, like, say, the most recent Devil May Cry game, Devil May Cry 5. But it still looks fantastic, and I'm very curious to try it out. And they even got the composer from Devil May Cry 5, Cody Matthew Johnson, who's writing music for the game. So
Wow.
yeah, that's a big thing. Um, that's great that they're still working on it, because before this recent 17-minute gameplay video, there hadn't been any news on Lost Soul Aside for the last few years. I was wondering if the game was even still being made or not. So, um, and I'm glad that they confirmed that the game's coming to PC. So when it does come out, that's the platform I'm going to pick it up for. So, what are your thoughts on Lost Soul Aside coming to other platforms?
Oh man, that's great news for sure. And I saw the gameplay video last week, and I thought the game was looking incredible. So I'm definitely excited for it. There was just one section that looked kind of funny to me when he was if I can remember, he was riding on that board. I think that area just needs a little bit of touch up. I guess it'd be more fast paced, like how with the combat.
Uh,
Man, I'm real excited for this game. I can't wait for it.
yeah, I must.
And yeah, quick question again. Originally, when this was they were talking about this, was this originally coming to the PlayStation or was it just for PC? I can't remember.
Well, I believe it was being developed for the PC, but it originally was announced for the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Um, but now I don't know if the game's even still coming to PlayStation 4. Probably not.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, that's just one of the caveats of new generation hardware coming out. So, but if they can beef up the game and deliver what they've been showing without changing anything, then kudos for them.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have news on Resident Evil Reverse, which is that shitty Resident Evil multiplayer game that no one wants. That's
Man,
been
I was hoping it would be canceled.
yeah, I was about to say the same, but we'll get into it. Resident Evil Reverse has been delayed to summer 2021, so there won't be a day and date release for Resident Evil Reverse by the time Resident Evil Village releases, which is this upcoming week, actually in 5 days. So I haven't actually read this article. I'm wondering why they delayed this, like what's going on, and it could be that they want to alter some things because of the backlash that followed with the beta for this, which I did miss the beta, so but I think what it is they're gonna try and fix the matchmaking problems that players have reported. But the game itself, I don't think it's going to change.
Sadly.
Well, they don't really have time to fix anything that's wrong with it at this point. Anything,
Yeah.
well, anything that's like in depth, they don't have time for. So
Nobody's gonna be playing anyway with Resident Evil 5, so but they delayed it anyway.
yeah, I don't. I just don't understand why Capcom keeps doing this. They need to stop trying to make a multiplayer shit with Resident Evil. Mercenaries mode is great, and they're already releasing Resident Evil Village with that. So they're bringing back Mercenaries mode, which is fantastic. That's all you need with Resident Evil. You just Mercenaries mode. That's it. You don't need no goddamn PvP Resident Evil game. No one wants to play that shit. Come on now. Anyway, next up, The Last of Us Part 3. An outline has been written by director Neil Druckmann, but the game is not in development. At least not yet. And so this is one of the biggest video game related articles that came out this past week. And it's not just Neil Druckmann, it's also the co-writer Haley Gross, who is also the writer for the TV show Westworld. So
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. I think I may have seen a few episodes of it.
yeah, so after the disaster that was The Last of Us Part 2, at least narratively speaking, it's really hard to care about what Neil Druckmann has in store for Part 3. Now, that's not saying that Naughty Dog can't make a Part 3 and have it be, an actual good game without all the backlash and all the extra shit and the, forcing gender diversity where it doesn't belong and, other political statements that, don't belong. They can still make a fantastic game without all that extra shit, but I don't have any faith that they will. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. Because Last of Us Part 2 should have been one of the best sequels ever. Instead, it turned out to be one of the worst sequels ever. So yeah, I don't really have much of an interest in this. I actually wrote my own outline for The Last of Us Part 3 around the time when The Last of Us Part 2 came out. And that video is still up on my channel. So anyone interested, you can go and take a look at that. But my whole idea revolved around the whole theme of redemption, which is really the only way the only plausible way I can see Naughty Dog doing a Last of Us 3. And my idea was like if they made it similar to what was the last Planet of the Apes movie? War for the Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they made it something like that, I think it could work. But don't know what outline Neil Druckmann wrote. So
He should be coming to you for help.
uh, not just me, really. Any of the fucking fans that didn't like this mess could have written a better game than the nonsense than what he and Haley Gross did with it. And you still have people arguing about, whether The Last of Us Part 2 was good or not. And that just tells you how you know, the irreparable damage that this game caused to the fan base of The Last of Us. It split it right down the middle. And it basically added nothing of importance to the series itself. So, yeah.
We're seeing.
Goddamn shame. But when they reveal officially reveal part 3 or whatever, I'll take a look at it and see what they got, but I'm not really excited or really have much of an interest. Next up, this is less of an article and more something that I've been wanting to discuss for a while now, because IGN has this habit of making these ranking lists or whatever when it comes to video games, and usually they're just awful. They're terrible. So let's take a look at, according to IGN now, the top 25 best PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 games, excuse me. So at number 25, they got Nier Automata. I think that's a reasonable placement for that game. Now, originally when Nier Automata came out, it was a timed exclusive for the PlayStation 4. It later came to the Xbox One and PC. Yeah, I guess it's still one of the best games on PlayStation 4, but it's not an exclusive. So at number 24, we have Monster Hunter World. Mike, you know more about Monster Hunter than I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I used to have a Nintendo 3DS. I used to play Monster Hunter games from time to time when I was bored. For the pastime, but they can be real draining and real time consuming, and I eventually gave up on them. But yeah, I was a fan of them for a while.
Well, that's good to know. Did you ever play World?
Oh, I was tired of the games by then. I was way too tired to even give that one a shot.
They just came out with a new one called Monster Hunter Rise. Console-wise, it was only released to the Nintendo Switch for some reason, but it's also coming to PC. So I'm not sure if it's been released to PC yet. But
they ditched the kind of real world look they were going for. Did they go back to the cartoony kind of look they originally had?
It's kind of both, to be honest. So it's like a mixture.
Yeah.
But going down, we have Apex Legends at number 23, Yakuza 0 at number 22, Tetris Effect at number 21, Dreams at number 20, Final Fantasy VII Remake at number 19. I'm surprised they didn't place this one higher, but it's a good thing they didn't. That game was a disappointment. Number 18, you got Overwatch. Number 17, Ratchet and Clank. Number 16, What Remains of Edith Finch. Number 15, Uncharted 4. Number 14, Metal Gear Solid 5. So according to IGN, according to IGN, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a better game than the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's a better game than Uncharted 4. It's a better game than Nier Automata.
Bullshit.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. At number 13, we have Resident Evil 2. I think that should be a bit higher up on the list, but at number 12, we have Ghost of Tsushima. Now that's a good placement. Number 11, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, good placement. Number 10, we have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. That's actually a pretty good game. Um, I think they did a good job with that. At number 9, we have Control, which is ridiculous.
Hey, was the game that good?
It was good, but it wasn't that good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really exaggerated. The story was nonsense and pretty difficult to follow. And the game had a bunch of performance issues on console, so
Hey.
I don't know why it's this high up on the list. At number 8, we have Marvel's Spider-Man.
Oh, I thought that would be number 1.
It probably should be, but whatever. At number 7, we have Horizon Zero Dawn. Number 5, we have Grand Theft Auto 5, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't. Again, this is IGN. Number 5, we have Persona 5 Royal. Number 4, we have The Witcher 3. Number 2, we have Bloodborne, and I'm sure you can guess what number 1 is.
We haven't done number 2.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Bloodborne's number 3.
Yeah, Bloodborne, I'm surprised isn't higher, but whatever. And at number 1, we have God of War. It's trash, man. Trash list. What do you think of the list, Mike?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's definitely trash. Especially that God of War being number 1. IGN's on some bullshit as always.
Yeah, they'll praise certain titles that don't deserve it, and then they'll underrate titles that do deserve higher scores. They're backwards as hell. So next up,
But for 2021, I definitely think Resident Evil 1. I mean, the new Resident Evil is definitely going to be number 1 on a lot of people's list.
well, yeah, and that's also because it doesn't really have any competition otherwise.
Yeah.
At least not right now. So next up, we have a Russian man was apparently trapped on a Chinese TV show for 3 months before he finally got to go home.
What?
Vladislav Ivanov is a 27-year-old from Vlad. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Yeah, he was he signed up to be a contestant on some show or whatever, and it went downhill fast. I think what happened was he quit. He was contractually obligated to continue, and he just quit. He just gave up. But they wouldn't let him go home. Yeah, China and Japan are one of the last fucking companies I would ever want to visit.
Yeah.
Especially as someone of color, you know. Before you know it, they'll start trapping Americans over there too. Next up, we have the final Oscars rating. The Oscars took place on Sunday and received a tumultuous level of backlash against their fuckery for how the most recent show was conducted. The last Academy Awards, the 2020 Academy Awards, had a lot more nominations and everything compared to this year. This year, they weren't even trying because I downloaded the Academy Awards and I was skimming through it, and this shit is boring, dude. They didn't even fucking try with this. and their viewership was down to around 9,000, which is nothing special. So, what do you think, Mike?
I'm not surprised. I haven't watched fucking Oscars in a long ass time, so been trash for a long time for me. So no surprise there.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And the final award of the night, like they switched it up because usually they'll present Best Picture last and close the show with that. Instead, what they did was Chadwick Boseman, who they could have given the award to because of his posthumous death or whatever, his late death, and unfortunately they like with that award, they gave it, instead of giving it to Chadwick Boseman, they gave it to Anthony Hopkins, who wasn't even in the fucking audience to to accept it, and they didn't have him on call either. Basically,
Wow.
Joaquin Phoenix came out and he said, "Well, Anthony Hopkins, he won the award, but since he's not here, the Academy's going to accept the award on his behalf." So, and yep, that was it. That's how they ended it.
Wow. Dang.
There were no musical performances really at all. The in memory the reel or whatever, the side reel that shows all the deceased or the recently deceased entertainers. They basically put that shit on fast forward during the ceremony, and it was really sad. And they went hard with the political agenda this year.
Dang.
Yeah, so the Academy Awards was a joke. Speaking of which, let's look at the winners. Now, you said you've seen like what one movie, one of the Best Picture nominees this year.
I believe so. Yeah, I think maybe it's two, maybe two. I think. No, I seen Judas and Black Messiah and Promising Young Woman. Yeah, I think it was just those two.
Yeah, I watched both of those, and I also watched what's that fucking movie called, man? Uh, yeah, it's Promising Young Woman. What was the first one you mentioned?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. I watched that. I watched Sound of Metal. I think that's the one I was thinking of. But yeah, I watched that, and I do intend to catch some of the other ones as well. And you look at the list of winners here. They gave Best Picture to Nomadland. Now I heard Nomadland was extremely well directed, but I also heard that the story was boring as shit. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen some of these. Father, yeah, I haven't seen that at all. I haven't seen No Manland. Seen Trial of Chicago 7. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of these.
I started watching Trial of the Chicago 7, but I hadn't. I didn't get very far into it, but I'll probably catch up on it maybe tomorrow. Nomadland director Chloe Zhao, who is also she's directing the upcoming Marvel's Eternals. She got Best Director as well as won Best Picture for Nomadland. She is the second woman in the history of the Oscars to win for Best Director after Catherine Bigelow um, for her movie The Hurt Locker. And so, yeah, that's pretty big. And she's the second woman to win that award, and she's also the first woman of color to win that award. So, yeah, what do you think about this situation?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely good. Definitely more diversity. And seeing her win awards definitely good. And no issue for me.
We should binge watch Nomadland at some point one of these weeks.
Okay.
I'm very curious. I don't even know what that movie's about.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, so we'll get it all sorted out. But moving on, because I'm trying to keep this video at a specific length. Another top 25 list by the geniuses at IGN, who aren't really geniuses at all, but I digress. At number 25, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, should be higher. We have Control at number 24, Overwatch at number 23, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim at number 22, Civilization 6 at number 21, number 20 is Diablo 3, number 19 is Hollow Knight, number 18 is Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, fucking Into the Breach at number 16. We have Prey at number 15.
Did you play Prey? I don't think I've heard you talk about that one.
Isn't that fucking reboot game or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that bullshit.
I think it is. I think it was.
Yeah, I didn't like that bullshit.
Right.
I played I played like the first 20 to 30 minutes of that shit, and it was like a BioShock ripoff, and then the enemies were like so small I could barely aim at them, and they were jumping all over the fucking place.
Yeah, they do jump all over the place.
Yeah, that game wasn't very fun. So yeah, it wasn't my thing. Then we have Faster Than Light at number 14, Dota 2 at number 13. Number 12, we have Microsoft Flight Simulator. This game got a lot of high review scores.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
I'm not really sure why though.
It's crazy what it accomplished though.
What did it do?
You can go across every city in the U.S. I mean, it looks really, really realistic too. I know a lot of the tech they use is pretty groundbreaking from what I've heard too. Like regarding like clouds and weather and all that, and how they kind of bring like all the locations to life. And I think it's from what I've heard, I think it's all based on Google Earth. I think from what I've heard. So I think it's like basically it takes I might be wrong on it. I guess it's like it takes like real time data from Google Earth. Oh, it's Bing actually. My bad. I just saw that when I stumbled down. Yeah, it takes that and brings it into the game. So I guess everything that's happening regarding the weather and things like that is actually happening in the game.
Oh, well, ain't that something? Oh, maybe I'll try it out at some point. At number 11, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. I still have yet to try that game on PC. I bought it on Steam, but I haven't tried to play it. I'm going to have to try that out. Final Fantasy XIV Online at number 10. Number 9, Disco Elysium. Number 8, with Nier Automata. Number 7 with XCOM 2. Another fucking game I despise. Number 6, we have Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online. Number 5, we have Divinity Original Sin 2. Number 4, we have Slay the Spire. Number 3, Half-Life Alyx. Number 2, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And number 1, Portal 2.
Oh, I'm not familiar with a few of the games on that list. I feel like even though I can't think of them at the top of my head, there's a lot more better games on PC that could have been on this list.
Yeah, well, as they say, you can't spell IGN, or rather, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. So, and finally, we have video game release dates for the month of May. And so this is everything that's coming out this upcoming month. Well, this month.
Let's see. Colonist, I haven't heard of that.
Right.
City, not familiar with that. And Resident Village. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. I haven't seen gameplay for that, but I see everyone trying to market that game. I don't know what it's about. Oh, so that Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out this month as well?
What is it?
Mass Effect Legendary Edition? I didn't even know that was coming out this month.
Yeah, that's coming out. I'm more likely going to buy it.
Okay, Subnautica Below Zero. Subnautica is cool. I do hate little survival mechanics in a lot of games now, but Subnautica is cool. Real Night, Never Yield. I don't know that. Cat City, don't know that. I thought that game was already out, or is it just coming out the console? I don't know. I'll mean, oh, that's coming out this year. I mean, this month too. I didn't know that.
What is it?
Biomutant.
Oh yeah, that game looks okay. It looks a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Though.
It does.
I'm gonna have to wait for reviews on that one.
Yeah. King of Seas, don't know that. Earth Defense Force, World Brothers, don't know that. Force Club Adventures, don't know that. I don't want to know that one. Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Stormground. Seen a few of the Warhammer games. Not sure what that type one is. Really only care about Resident Evil Village on the list, to be honest.
Well, as far as new games go, yeah. That's the only one that's worth a damn on that list that they have listed, you know. I'm surprised they even have anything else that's somewhat interesting that's coming out with the Mass Effect trilogy. And yep, outside of that, there's really nothing else to discuss. So, what was your favorite article for this week, or from this week?
I think my favorite article would probably be for, I guess, Lost Souls side, since I'm real excited for that game. Even though we don't have a release date yet, don't know when it's coming. In a long time we've been hearing about that game, so I guess that one. It's always good to see more gameplay for it.
My favorite article, I think, is the Last of Us Part 3 article.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because I just want to, I'm very curious as to what they're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that wraps up the entertainment news for this week. Yeah, this was a pretty good week, and I think next week will be even better, hopefully. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try and make it next week. But for now, that is all she wrote. Mike, any last words?
No last words. Oh yeah, it was a great time being back up on here. It's been a while since we were discussing stuff. So yeah, good to be back.
Yep, and like I said, we will return.